but they don't exist. But we feel emotions. I mean, I feel angry sometimes, I feel happy sometimes, I feel so, and these feelings, emotions feel like they happen to you, like they hijack you and take you over and cause you to, think and do and say sometimes things that you rather would not have. So I thought, this is a real mystery. And I just abandoned the work that I was working on, and I completely switched my research program at that point because it was a real puzzle. And here I am almost 30 years later. So
Let's start at the beginning. What are emotions?
that's not starting at the beginning.
Where's the beginning?
Well, here's the thing. The linguist George Lakoff calls emotions essentially contested concepts, which means we all think we know what emotions are, but no one can define them. No one can agree on their definition. So, for example, scientists, the way they typically define emotion is a package of thoughts and feelings and facial movements and bodily changes that are all coordinated with each other. That's the way they define anger and sadness and fear. But the evidence from science tells us that those coordinated packages don't exist. There isn't one coordinated package for anger, that when you're angry, you always feel the same way and your body's always doing the same thing and your face is always doing the same thing. All the pieces are coordinated, but they look different every single time. Well, maybe not every single time, but they look different in different situations. And it's not easy to scientifically define what emotions are. If I gave you a definition, I don't think it would be meaningful to you or your listeners. So the way I would define emotion is the way I would define thinking.
Why do you, since you conceptualize emotion in the way that you do, as so basically not different from cognition, why in your view is emotion? Why do we consciously feel things? What is the conscious feeling part of it for, as opposed to, it could just be unconsciously cognized? What does the feeling do? The actual conscious quale do?
I don't know the answer to that. And I don't actually have a view.
Okay.
So for me, I try to resist teleological claims wherever I can, because I think they're problematic in science. So I don't know. I mean, I could ask the same question about affect the way that I define it, right? Why? You could say that the brain is computing value as a low dimensional summary of, the sensory periphery in the body. But why do you feel pleasant and unpleasant? Why do you feel worked up and calm? And I don't know the answer to that, honestly. And lots of people have written about that. And lots of very smart scientists and philosophers have written about that. And, everything that's been written, seems plausible, I guess, but there's no evidence. And so as a scientist, I'm just agnostic, because my views are very much driven by my understanding of the scientific evidence and the strength or weaknesses of the methods that are being used respectively. And so I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
Mm-hmm. I'm truly surprised, because if your career is about studying emotion, as opposed to the things that cognitive scientists study, you're studying what affective scientists study. Emotion is all about feeling, and the consciousness of feeling is such an overwhelming aspect of our lived experience, that to not have a view on why we feel our emotions, I'm really surprised.
Well, why questions are teleological questions, and
you're not interested.
I'm concerned with what questions, which is how. It's a big enough mystery it's a big enough mystery to try to understand exactly how, which we don't know, actually. We don't know how qualia are emerged from the brain. We don't know. Nobody knows. It's a mystery. It's what, Chalmers calls the hard problem. Except it's an incredibly hard problem.